The biggest problem with women, and I'm saying this not to instigate anything, I could care less. It could sound like that out the gate, but that's nowhere where we're heading. It's more so an understanding. So, women, the biggest problem is they never had a true orgasm or good sex. They may be with a man, but they don't have this good sex. And then they continue and thus think about it and continue to want this and look for it. But in this monogamous relationship, this one-on relationship, it's not going to happen. So it builds up into her almost to an angry, boiling point. She has a lot of resentment. You could be the nicest guy. You could be a 5-star guy. But if she has never experienced that orgasm that she wants to experience, and that sex, that good sex, it's not a matter of what you look like. It's a matter of how you do it. You can get the best sex, ironically, and probably most privilegedly from the ugliest person. So this woman's always going to have a problem with any type of guy, even the nicest guy, the best guy, quote unquote. We're just saying best looking and financially, so to speak, doing all the right things, except this aspect. She's always going to leave. She's always going to cheat. What do women cling to the most? The guy that give them this phenomenal sex. Not saying that's what they should be going after, but until this is meant and until this is need and felt, it's just going to drive her crazy. This is why women hop to one person to another one. This is why that resentment builds up. And until they get this experience, it's always going to be the same underlying problem. They don't realize this. It's a deeper subconscious problem. And once they do get this, it's almost like they're free. It's not a big deal to them anymore. Also, women can also fall in love with this, which is also not the true thing to fall in love with, but it's not wrong. It could also because they haven't experienced it and they've waited so long for it. So again, they become maybe a porn star and they fall in love with it. Porn stars, to some degree, are probably more free than the average girl just for letting themselves be and letting them want to experience what they experience. But it's no longer about the orgasm. It's they've become some type of their perception got misconstrued or misconstrued about, oh, I didn't get this, so now I got to keep getting it and getting it. Basically a dopamine hit. It's the first time you hear me say that. And then it becomes like it can become regretful, but there's so many things. So until the woman experiences this, there's always going to be a problem in the relationship. What's the end all ordeal? Most guys are not giving good sex. They don't know how to love, and that's a part of it. You could do it without love somewhat. And so, because if a woman wants sex and she keeps having this boring sex and she keeps, even if it's with the same person, and she keeps trying and it's not hitting the spot she wants to hit, whether it's not even like a physical spot per se, it can be, then she's still gonna crave it. She's gonna crave it even more. She's gonna go insane because she wants to be with this guy, but it's not what she wants. And she doesn't know this. This is how it's propagating. And yeah, it just becomes into this bipolar chaos type of field. So the problem is, or guys need to learn, they used to be taught, so to speak, in some civilizations, of actually how to please a woman. They still do in places. And how to actually do it. So, yeah, because going and not knowing how into the know-how is very confusing because you may not know how to do it. So it's not wrong or it's not bad. And it's not wrong when it comes to a person naturally either. Why am I saying this? So women don't even have to have necessarily sex. If you see this knowledge, it can actually change your whole biosphere, your whole goggles, your whole whatever VR, virtual reality, because you don't need a virtual reality to look into. You actually are living the virtual reality. In spirit world is the more virtual reality. That game is so belittled, it's nothing compared to the real thing. It's like a piece of dust. So yes, you could see this knowledge because you don't actually need to have the orgasm. But for you to get over that hump, most people are going to have to go towards that because they're going to want to experience that. Who's not going to? That's going to be so fun. It's going to be, it could be with a random guy, a one night stand. It doesn't matter as long as they get it. An ugly guy, a not funny guy, a boring guy, but he gave her this. It's like, it just explodes in her.